Okey-dokey. I am live. Cool. I'm just going to do a quick copy and paste. I probably could have had the stream URL ready to share prior to this, but sorry. Cool. Alrighty, back to the stream. Okay, and I'm ready to go. Okay, so what we have here, I'll just put it back together again. I've been inspired to do a goofy giraffe. Okay, so I'm just going to send a message to a friend that inspired me, and I shall get into it. So I'm going to combine Goofy with a giraffe and make a Goofy giraffe. Ah, that was the right thing to share. How do I share this damn stream? Ah, share. Copy. Okay, that's better. Oops. Sorry, everybody that's watching this now. I'm not even looking at the chat at the moment. If there's anyone in, just come back in 10 minutes. Okay, all right, rock and roll. All right, so here we go. Here's where I'm at. I'll rewind my steps to get up to where I'm up to so far. So I basically just imported a Goofy and a giraffe, and I repositioned them from far away where they were. I'll go, that's as far back as I'll go. Now let's use transform tools, this tool here, to move it around. And accidentally selected some stuff, and I've selected it and chopped his head off, and at this point I'm ready to delete his body. So I've just got a Goofy head, and now we're going to select that and make a selection on it, and we're going to decapitate a giraffe as well. Okay, so now that I've got those out of the way, Goofy's going to need a bit more, oops, taken off him actually by the looks of it. I think what I might do is I might do a selection here. think that's probably a pretty good bit to take. And what I'll do is I'm actually going to do a soft transform. I'll try and see if I can't just shrink that down to an infinitesimal little dot and make it into a bit of a point. Increase the fall off slightly. No, I won't. Something like that. And then I'll move that. I'll just escape into position a bit better. And I'll be doing some putty and sculpting shortly. I think I might just go in a bit further. And then once it's joined on, I think I'm going to stretch it a little bit because I think I've probably obliterated a bit too much of the giraffe's neck, but that's easily fixed. Maybe I'll go a bit bigger. That's starting to look pretty reasonable. Okay, so now we'll do away with some parts of this stuff in a second, but for now I'm happy with that there. And now we get to sort of go in and figure out which bits we don't want to actually be able to see. Actually, I might just go straight in with the sculpt tool and use the shrink smooth tool, make it not quite so massive, and just basically shrink that back. And I'm going to leave a little bit there for it to connect, because the original reason that was connected to that was to make it actually somewhat printable. So I want to keep that. Now, I don't want to spend too much time because I want to get this actually printing. I want this to be a quick thing that just happens instead of something I think about too much. So I'm just going to make it fairly safe. I'm not going to get too picky with making it perfect. Just make it a fairly safe print that's going to work. And look, you know, it's all good. I can live with these little ears touching there like that. Maybe I'll actually select that, do a soft transform and bury that in a bit to there, and then move the fall off up a bit to about there. That's probably a lot better. And I'll do another selection here, and I'll do a soft transform, stretch that into there a bit. That's a lot better. That's a lot better. Okay, so those will print up off there now. Ooh, you know what? One thing I didn't really consider is that his chin could probably do look up. Oh, look, I'll just live with it needing support. That's okay. Although, when I join it, I'll sculpt the neck in a little bit. I might be able to just bring that in and give it a bit of a neck join. All right, so that's goofy good enough. I'm going to now just pop him in just a little bit further. I hope that didn't ruin anything. Yes, it did. It's okay, because I'm going to fix it. Just do that for a few little rotations. There we go, that's good enough. Alright, we're cooking with gas. Alright, so now it's time to actually join these two together. We have a pretty cool looking goofy giraffe. So I'm going to go you and you with the shift button. I'm going to go combine. And that's, sorry, I shouldn't have done a combine. I'm going to undo. We're going to do a try for Boolean union. We'll see what happens. It looks like it's going to work well. We undo that auto reduce result because it's nasty, and then we press accept. Now we have one body that is the two bodies joined together, but it looks a bit clunky in this joint. So I'm going to go for that sculpt tool again, and this time I'm probably going to try the strings. Maybe that'll probably work pretty well. I might try the other tools as well. Moments away from this, I'm just going to give that a bit of a tuck in like that. Now there's actually another tool called Draw, which I'm going to Oop, that's a bit aggressive. There we go. All right, that's pretty cool. I'm pretty happy with that. Now, the pose, though, it's a little bit boring. So I think what we might do, well, actually, there's one thing I want to do first. I just want to fix whatever the hell that ribbon is. And whatever's going on here. Don't know what that was, but it wasn't cool. All right, I'm going to go for... I'm going to actually bring up YouTube so I can see it. I've got a watcher. Look out. Say something in the comments if you're there still. Or is that just me watching? Alrighty, so now I'll grab the goof head and I'm going to select the goof head. I'm going to go Shift T for transform. And I'm going to think, righto, we probably want to rotate the head to look somewhat sideways. Now don't be alarmed. It's going to look like the neck's broken, so we'll fix that shortly. We're also going to move it forward a bit and across a bit that way. So it's really having a good look around. And then we'll try and increase the fall off distance and see if we can get something that looks natural by just letting it naturally do that kind of twist. That seems to be pretty surprisingly good. Gosh. And we might be able to okay, see this tail, that's a bit of an issue. It's a little hat. So I've separated that into 3 pieces. I've got 1, 2, 3. I needed this gap. This is a gap. Picture that being gone. I'll just hide it. Okay. Now I'm going to weld this piece to this piece. We're doing another Boolean union. And what that's doing is making sure there's no interlacking geometry inside, which doesn't work well for 3D printing. And I'm going to set that because it looks like it's worked quite well. Then we can pop that piece back in. I'm selecting both, and you can combine, and hopefully, this is the bit where you're going to be lucky. You close the cracks, they're both closed. If I didn't have luck then, it might have been because the join was too close to that and maybe distorted it, but that seemed to work pretty good. Okay, so now we're almost looking at a support-free model except for this hat. I wonder if Goofy's hat could maybe slouch forward a little bit. Like it's flopping around. Yeah, no, this to sit on a particular axis. Maybe, just maybe, might munch it a little bit too much, but hold on. This doesn't look too bad, and that might print without support. Maybe I'll point his whole head down a little bit now. His head's probably a bit gummy as well. We can probably bend his whole. Well, actually, if I just keep increasing that. I don't know whether that's a very specific hat and whether I've destroyed it or not, but I think that that looks pretty reasonable. So that's not going to have any extreme overhangs now either. I don't think it looks much different to what it did before. It just looks like it's in a different spot on his head. I assume it looks like it's a bendy thing. It's a very strange hat. We'll give Mr. Goof that. All right, well, there we go. Now, it's a bit plain, this giraffe. I might just quickly open another tab and do a quick Google search of a giraffe pattern. Yeah, I thought so. Righto. Pretty straightforward pattern to try and copy. So I'm just going to do some little blodges. It's not going to be very hard to give it a bit of giraffiness. And what I'll do in a second, you'll see, is I'm going to roll this selection out. Neck over. So I'm doing them a bit further apart than a real giraffe because a bit further apart than a real giraffe because they're about to be expanded, so I want them to sort of mesh together. So there's going to need to be support under the belly still. But the thing is that only goes up so far, and it's where you can't really see it. What you don't want is a whole heap of support where it's going to stand out and it's going to damage your model. I'm not being very accurate with this. I probably should be being more fussy, but I want to get it on the printer. Should probably not even be doing spots, but it's not, like I said, it's not going to take that long. Now that I've started, I realise there is actually quite a lot of spots on a giraffe. If I don't think I'm going to do them on the face. Alrighty. Now, what I'm going to do, I'm going to control and roll. That will expand my selection. I do want to be kind of careful not to let them touch. Then I'm going to hit B for boundary, and hopefully, oh, you bastard. Okay, I'm just going to roll that back a little bit before they've kind of touched, and then hit B for boundary. That's not going to work either. Alright, you bastard. Alright, I'm just going to do it as it is. They're not too bad. I don't mind the jaggediness. I'll just be a little bit more fussy with some of those. I know what I can do. Roll that out, remesh it. I'm going to increase the density of the wireframe. That should be good. And then, with a bit of luck, I can't remember if it loses my selection. No, it doesn't. Please don't lose my selections. Great. Okay, now I can roll it in. Hopefully I can roll back to my original selections. Oh, it's not working. Damn. All right. Well, this could be a nice accident. What I'm going to do, I'm going to export this mesh to a folder. And I'll keep that for later because I want to try something else with that. But I'm going to go undo, undo, undo. Undo, undo, back to that stage, and then I'm going to try a offset. Okay, now it's going to crude as, but that's okay. And there's a few of them that didn't work. We can go back and do them after. I do want to go out a little bit. 0.3 should be enough. And we might go with a slight soft transition. Not too much. I think we need to go less. I don't know about the soft transition. Yeah, I don't know about that. I don't know. You know, I've got the other copy of it already exported. I must bug fly in my head. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know. I think I'm going to can that. It was a nice idea. I'll just paint it on. Alright, back to basically double checking it and finding out why I thought it had an error in the mesh. Auto repaired whatever it was. The teeth of the goof star. Teeth. Can we do something with your little teethy teeths to make them so you don't need a massive amount of support material to make them print? Can I get away with moving your teeth in just a little bit to touch your, hang on. I'll do more than I have to, and then I'll just spread that over a bigger area. That's kind of killed it because it went too wide. I don't really want it going up onto the tooth, but what I'll do is I'll accept that, then I'll select the tooth bit, and then I'll pull it down into that. The reason I'm doing this is because I really don't want to use support material where I don't have to. Okay, that's cool. What I'll do now is just touch the other one up as well. I'll just try that one first. I really don't think that that made a big difference to the overall effect of the goof. Okay, so I'm now going to grab a sculpting tool, which is a shrink smooth, and I'm going to get it into these crevices. Oops, too much. Just make sure that there's no overlaps. So I'm basically just going to sort of pull out the crease a little bit. So I might want to use inflate smooth, bubble smooth. I'll redefine that if I need to. First thing I want to do is just make sure there's no big crease inside there that won't want to print. Shrink smooth is better. There we go, that's got the crease out. Still got back to the being an overhang though, so I'll just try and just tuck his tooth in a little bit. Until go a little bit smaller. And just give that a little bit of a tuck in. So still get a nice defined. Here I'm going to have to make that a bit refined. Oops, sculpt, refine. Bring that size up a bit and just I'll refine the mesh. What that's doing is actually making it so there's more triangles to play with in that region. So then I can origami it better. Sort of think of this as extreme origami. The bit that I needed to refine, I didn't. Did on that side. Good. So what I wanted to do is I'll just put a bit of a crease back into there. Maybe that was a bit too much, I'm not sure. And then smooth the bottom bit over. So just want to have a nice defined tooth. Why does that take forever to do anything? If we can avoid having to pull support off this guy's face, it's going to look a lot better. Oh. I think on the scale I'm printing that's going to look great, and we no longer need any support there. I'm just going to fix this one up now. I think that's sort of pretty well defined, really. Just along here needs a little bit of a touch up with that draw tool. Well, it's overdoing it, way too strong. Way too weak. Might even try the flat tool. So maybe I'll try to sort of make his teeth kind of flat. It's better. I'll do it on the other side too. All right, so that should all work. No support, except for the tummy. There's not really a lot we can do about that, unless we got really tricky and tried to make it so that it looks like Goofy Giraffe is kind of sitting and has a torso that's more on an angle, but I don't think I'll worry. I think I'm pretty happy with that. So we'll end up with a bit of support material up under the tummy, but shouldn't be too much. And I might even actually, well, why don't we just do this? Oops. A different way to make a support tower than what most people are probably used to. So make a selection that you want to support from, and work backwards from there. And you can make this kind of on any angle that you want to. It seems like that is pretty much the lowest point of the model, so I want to give that a good bit of support. I'll accept that, and then I'll hit T for transform again. And I'll come out. Can I make that go a bit wider? And then I might go select, and I will want to join that with some other bits to make it a bit more stable so that it's not wobbly. So I think we'll give this a couple of little mini struts. That did not work well. Okay, give it 2 more. I think it should be good. That should support the tummy. Oops. So this is very much cheating as a way of getting all these supports, and I'm not even going to do a proper join on these. I'm just going to actually let them be, well, actually you'll see in a second, they're actually fairly easy to separate from the main body. So I can actually separate it off and make it into its own thing in a second. Oh, you bugger. Alright, so now I can go F for select. Because I haven't got a lot of other things sort of joined to that at the moment, I'm going to do that, which will make it separate from that, and then I'll go hit separate shells, which will separate everything off. And that's fine, because now I'll join the things back together that need to be. So I'll get you and you and you, combine them, close the cracks. I'm actually going to then go and take this one, and then that one, and that one, and combine them. And then we're going to go to analysis, inspector, auto repair all, and it's going to fix some little holes in them. Then I'll press done, and then I'll go analysis, inspector. I wasn't expecting that big a hole in the bottom. So it looks like it patched pretty well. A few other holes while I'm at it. I don't know where that came from. Maybe there's some other little fragments of different colors before. Okay. Oh, that main giraffe. I do not know what these pieces here are doing, but I'm just going to clean them up. Okay, so that's good. And now for joining this all to a main structure. So I'll just select that bit there by double clicking it. And I'm going to expand that down to below the ground. I'm going to make it huge at the base. And clear selection. So now these are two complete pieces. They're both independent of each other. But that fits perfectly on that. Something's still got a hole in it though. Okay. I don't know why it's recognising those as individual bits. It's a bit weird. They should be joined on. Maybe they're not. Anyway, a quick way to fix this one is to get nice and ready to print is to do a quick make solid on it and add a little offset, which will actually make it just a touch. Oops, forget accurate to do that. Just a tiny little bit of offset. I'll update it. And it'll just thicken that up a little bit. It'll actually make it overlap a little bit with the other shape. That's what we want. It'll make sure it sticks to it. It's having some sort of dramas. Try that again. Still needs more. It's a bit hard to guess what numbers to punch in sometimes. Look, I'm not even going to do the make solid. I'm just going to be happy enough with that. I'm curious to know what's going on there, but being a support material piece, I don't really even care. Meh. But if there's a drama when we get it to the slicer, I'm just going to use normal support. Okay, so what I'm going to do now, just to make sure that these two are happy, I'll temporarily combine them, and I'm going to do a plane cut through very, very, very bottom of the feet. And what that'll do, if I'm lucky, is give them all a surface that's level together at the same point, and we're good to go. I'm 99.9% confident that I'm going to get away with Goofy's chin without any support. But what I might do, just to be certain, it's not hard. No, actually, I'm not going to worry about it. I'm pretty good. I'm sure it's good. Might just grab that sculpt tool, bust smooth. Just take a little tiny bit off that little bump there. Why can't I see it? It's a bit weird. I should be able to see the colour that I'm trying to put on there. Oh well. Oh, we've got to separate them anyway. Ah, those bits aren't even joined. That's what it was. Right, I see. These bits aren't even joined onto those. That's why I was having a little bit of a hard time. But I'm pretty sure that I can just, if I'm lucky, this is a built-in unit. It's a different way to join them. This is a permanent join. Whereas before they were just combined. And any internal geometry between the join disappears when you do this. This is what makes the main difference. Okay, there we go. I only need to select one at a time. I'm going to export that. I'm actually going to go over the top of Goofy Giraffe. And then I'm going to you know what? Those tall and that tail and the leg together is potentially going to be unstable. Would not hurt. No, I'm not going to. I'm just going to print slower. It's all good. I was considering possibly, although you know there's a lot of overhang there too. I think I'm going to use some normal support as well as this crazy tower. We'll just see, because I might want to support these knees a little bit, or maybe even, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to get real tech here. Guide wires. And what these will do is they'll cut off easily from the main model. Probably do a couple at a time, realistically. They'll cut off quite easily and not be so. That's a bit. Why is that? Oh, those were selected, I think. Yeah, there was. Damn it. So these will hopefully give it a bit of support without causing it any drama. I'm making sure to be on the world plane where I'm not going to interfere. With the levelness of the join. Now, if I was going to really do the right thing, oops, I've overdone that by. If I wanted to really do the right thing, I'd mesh these all together properly, but just see how it goes. I don't think the front legs are at as much risk, so what I might do is just to minimize damage to the model. Or am I getting too high tech? Maybe. Separate shells. Combine. Boolean union. So they become part of this structure instead. This one still needed to do something. It probably actually should have a little store come off the top of it too. Okay, and we can now just go and clear our selections. I'm going to hide that piece because I don't want to lose that when I do the next bit, which is to select tail. Combine. What else do we have? Goofy's head. Combine. Is there any other bits that are loose? Close the cracks. And now we've got all these little holes from where we've put our piece. So we're just going to go into the analysis and inspector. Hopefully they'll patch nicely without any troubles. I don't know why that. Oh, I see what happened there. It's just patching these holes on the bottom instead of filling them in with their own little bit. So I didn't realize that had pieces missing. So that's done. We'll hide that one, and there'll just be these floating pieces here, which I can just delete now. And now back to having that, which just needs a few little holes patched. Analysis, inspector, patch some holes. Alrighty, and make that visible again, and we are done here. Leave. Yep. Okay, so we've now got two files. I'll just get back to all being one color that we can see again. Hopefully we can put a shader on it to look at it nicer. No, shader's not working. I don't know what's going on there. I don't know. It's all good. Just look at it like that. There we go. Okay. Now we'll go export. Right over it again. Yes, we do. And then we're going to go and export this piece, and we'll call it Goofy Support. And we are basically done here. Last project I was working on. Might actually just open a new instance of Giraffe. Minimize that one. I decide which printer is it printed on. I put it on the wrapper in gold. Gold and Goofy. I don't know if I will do that. We'll just see. I really want to use support on those bits too, but I can turn support off. I'm actually going to choose the right printer first. Support off. Slice. Definitely want to have a. Oops. Turned out the printer support worked quite well actually. Not bad, not bad. Although, I think we might scale it up. It's only tiny at the moment. Yeah, day and 4 hours, maybe not quite. It's not capturing the lowest point. Alright, what I'm going to do, that's weird. Took the support away that I had there. That's okay. Oh, that's what supports do. They do, the custom supports do take other supports away. Yes. Come on, what's it take so long? Okay. See what the automatic support looks like. Yeah, I thought it was going to do that. I don't really mind what it's done with the tail, the body, the back, because it's all hidden underneath there, and it doesn't really matter if it's a bit tricky to remove because it can't scar it up too much. But definitely don't want it on the neck and head. I really don't think it needs it. However, it's done a reasonable job of it, other than some bits. So what I might do is use some support blockers. These are like anti-supports. So all I was really worried about with the legs was them falling over. The last thing we want is the legs to fall over. Oh, how do I support blockers miss stuff? Go thermonuclear on it. I think I've just got too many of those support blockers in there. I'm not confusing it. I'm happy with that. That's going on the card. Give me 1 second. Now, if I can play my cards right and get into my stuff where I can switch to the main webcam. Okay. Okay, well, everybody, I think that's pretty much all she wrote. I'm not going to let this roll. Well, I guess I can let this roll. Yeah, probably better off not. You're not going to see much from there, and I don't think I can move the camera without killing it. So, yeah, we'll cut this, and you guys can check out the results at a later date. Check out the Facebook page, and I'll probably post photos on Instagram as well. So, farewell, people, and remind me to put a new Windows background on because that's crap. Let me get out of here. Stop recording. Thanks for watching. Oh, you're kidding me. I hadn't recorded it. Ah, well. Hopefully, YouTube caught that.